Bonjour. Hello, everybody. I see some people are connecting. Let's see. Those of you who have your camera off, would you be comfortable turning your camera on for a call? It's an invitation. It would help us get into the work. If you feel comfortable, please enter. Okay. Paola, you're the only one whose face I can see in real time. Where are you from? Calling in from?
From South Africa.
South Africa, how lovely. Welcome. Purva, welcome. Poonam, you made it. Are you the Poonam who emailed me?
Yes, because it was in the middle of the night. Yeah,
Yes.
I made it.
I'm so happy you did. Welcome. So we have about 35 people signed up, and as is usual, I don't expect everybody will show up. But I want to give people a window of time to get themselves here. Often we have technical situations that show up with Zoom. So in the meanwhile, as you guys are connecting in, yeah, I can see some more people showing up. I'd love to hear how you found truth and reconciliation work. How did you find Nilima or me or TRW? What's your path here? Unmute yourself and speak.
I found it because I know Sukhvinda Sikar. She was one of the facilitators on one of the interviews, and we attended a healing collective principles of collective trauma course between last year and this year. It was a 4-month training that we did together online.
Oh, is that with Thomas?
Yes, yeah, that's right.
Oh,
yeah.
Beautiful. I am a big fan of his work and a student as well.
Yeah, so that's where we connected, and I've been following Sitkar work since we finished the course. And so I happened to see this conversation that she was having with Neela, and I was very interested. So having done that, then I went to check the rest of the conversations, and I signed up for yours and a previous one that I've just done.
I'm very glad you're here. Who else? There is no requirement. I cannot ask you to do things you don't want, but I definitely want to own my want. I want to see everybody's faces so that you can see each other and feel the group better. So if you're in a position where you can do that, please, how do I say, open your video. And if you can't, that's okay. And feel free to jump in. How did you find TRW?
I can go. So I've known Nilima for the last, I don't know, maybe 20 years. It's when we moved into India, actually, we moved into their house. And yeah, so I've known her, spiritual journey, good friends, kids grew up together. And I had a session actually day before yesterday, living with Gaia.
Oh, so beautiful.
I took the plunge. I mean, I've never done anything like this, but I jumped in. Yeah. And it went well. It was Yeah, I really, my daughter's helped a lot. The whole tech thing, I can't get that, but
Well, you're getting it
it
now.
was
It
good.
seems like you led a session and you're attending this one. So that's good. Okay, so it's 6:05 and I like being prompt whether or not others are. So we are going to commence. So to start, let me just acknowledge, I'm really grateful that you're here. This topic is really poignant to me at this particular time. And so if you're here, the work I do, let me see if more people are coming in. Welcome, Karen. Welcome, Roy. Welcome, welcome. So if you're here, chances are you are in search of deeper truth and love in your life. And that is because that is what I'm here to serve. And this work is not for everybody, but I hope by the end of today, you have a deeper sense of both in your body. My name is Ishita Sharma, as you might already know. I run a consultancy. My practice is called Come to Center, which is a call to coherence within ourselves and collectively. And power, oh my God, is such a pertinent topic in how we use it or abuse it in creating the collective healing that we are all wanting to see. So I'm really glad that you're here. I think we're going to have a lot of fun. The work I do is different than most people in that it's fully experiential. So I don't know how to facilitate when you guys are not fully present. So if you can, just show up and engage with both feet in and see what you get out of it, right? This is what you make out of it. We go as deep as you go. And if there's anyone here who's hesitant to be recorded and is shying away from the camera for that reason, let me know and we'll see if we can find workarounds, because part of coming together in this way, part of coming together in a group to do this work is about learning to see and be seen by each other, right? And when we keep those masks on, it can be a little harder to benefit. That's my spiel. Okay, wherever you are, find a comfortable posture and close your eyes. Yeah, whatever you do to access silence, engage that. Engage the process that takes you closest to yourself. Beautiful. There's no requirement to sit still here. There is no requirement, so just feel you. Arriving, connecting. And we've been engaging in relation already for 9 minutes. So just notice what it feels like to be engaged in this particular group at this particular time, listening to this particular voice. So I'm going to mute everybody for this part. Yeah. So take a screenshot of your inner landscape. Gorgeous. And once you have it, I'm going to invite you to just notice. Right? There's no judgment here. We're going to notice first, how am I feeling? What is the emotionality present in me? Maybe I'm really excited. Maybe I'm kind of uncomfortable. I don't know what's happening in you. It's a good idea to know what's happening in you. Yeah. And wherever you are, just have a breath, like a really juicy, really indulgent, life-giving breath. Like how much pleasure can you suck out of life kind of breath, all the way from your toes, all the way up those legs into your pelvis, into your belly. You have a back, whole back body sitting, holding you. You have sides, you have insides. Oh my gosh, every part of you having a juicy, juicy breath. Maybe we want to open our mouth. Maybe we want to make some yummy noises. I don't know. Nobody can hear you. If you want to close your eyes and make us go away, you can do that. If you want to mute yourself, you are muted. If you want to leave the room, shake your body, this is the time to do it, whatever you need. Yeah, if you need to wiggle, this is a good time to wiggle. Maybe we have some, toes to wiggle, some back that needs to flex, whatever your body needs. If you can, in these parameters, attend to that. Nice. Beautiful. And then remember what happened to that breath, that juicy breath. Is it still with you? Did you stop taking pleasure from your breath? Oh my God, why did you do that? You have to go back and you get the pleasure out of every breath. So all the way up into your belly, into your core, into your shoulders, down your arms, filling your neck, filling your head, blessing you, breath of life, birthright, gorgeous. And then we're going to do something energetically. We're going to engage what I call basics. Very fundamental. If you come into relation, we want to come into relation in a way that honors your space and everybody else's on this call. So first, I'm going to ask you to take note of the feelings, sensations in the core of your body. Right? To the core of your body is this beautiful line of energy defined by your spinal cord. It's a hi, hello, I live here, first contact. What's happening in me? Gorgeous. And notice what you notice. Beautiful, guys. So you're feeling your spine, just loving attention. It's like wanting to know a lover. It's like wanting to know myself with that friendly curiosity. Beautiful. No right way to do this, no wrong way to do it. Attention on your core, on this long line of energy. And then we take this line of energy and we extend our awareness to the center line of our whole body. It's called come to center because I want you to be centered in your body. Centered in your vessel. Beautiful. So noticing your attention is in your spine and in the bones of your body. Your bones define center line of your whole body. When we say, I know it in my bones, I'm referring to the deepest part of me. So putting your attention, just your attention on this deepest part of your physical existence. Yep. 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 So you're centered. And now you're going to extend as if you're a nice tree. We are all kind of like trees, actually, in this giant forest, of which this group is a small part. So you're going to visualize yourself taking that line of energy that defines your spine and connecting it all the way down through your roots. Roots come out of your feet, just like a tree. But these are magic roots. You got magic roots that go all the way down to the core of this planet. So visualize it. See it happening. You can feel it in your felt sense. Some people can hear it with a resonance. Whatever sense works for you. Take your tree and connect it to the core of the earth. And just imagine nourishment coming up from the core of this planet. Up, up, up it comes. From the core, solid iron crystal core at the center of this planet. Nourishing you. Bringing these warm, loving feelings that the earth has for you. All the nutrients you need to thrive here. Up the mantle, through the top crust, through the foundation of your building, through the floor, into your feet, and into those bones that define your center. Beautiful. So you're grounded, you're centered, and you are connected. So just have a breath and notice what this feels like in your body. Let your body put this in your unconscious attention, right? This is already happening. Always. You just made it conscious. Now you can say to your body, this is yours to attend to for the whole duration of this call and beyond. Please keep me centered, grounded, and in my core. Your job, body, not my job. Thank you. Yep, I see it. Nice. Yep, and now when you feel ready, right? Only when you feel ready, you feel full of this nourishment. Only then. I won't say it yet. You are still filling up. Some of you are almost there. But yeah, this is your birthright. You get to fill your whole self, right? The earth wants you here and she has everything you need. So fill yourself up from the inside. Let it flow into your legs, your pelvis, your belly, your core, your front, your back, your arms, your fingers, all the way in. Visualize yourself sparkling, whatever works for you. Smell it, taste it, feel it. Beautiful. Notice that the earth has an endless supply. Okay? And you get to choose how much is good for you now. So we don't, in this work, more is not better. Appropriate is good. What's better is optimum. So how much energy do I need right now for the task I'm engaging at hand right now? That's as much as you're going to fill. And if you feel like I'm getting too full, you can send it back. I know this is all woo-woo crazy stuff, but you can just trust me for 20 minutes and then go back into not trusting anything I say, just to see what happens. Yeah, and then you send it back. You say, okay, if I've had too much, Take everything extra and send it all the way back down to the ground. Yeah. Nice, everybody. Very nice. And now, when you feel ready, you might extend your attention, your awareness from your tree to all the other trees that are standing with you in our forest today. So just notice, you don't open your eyes yet, you just see, feel with your inner eye. Oh, there's a bigger network you are part of. Yeah. Yeah. Just notice what the sense in your body is, your felt sense of that connection. One tree is talking, but many others are not talking. They're also here. Gorgeous. And then I'm going to ask you to just visualize the land that is holding you, right? The solid earth that you are sitting on, that we just connected to. And please notice it. Thank it for holding you, anchoring you, and request that it be in connection, in conversation with my land. So you don't have to understand it, you just ask. Yeah, thank you, there it comes. Beautiful. For the duration of this call, our lands will be having a conversation. Thank you. Beautiful. Have a deep breath, attend to your body, feel your own space, the space bubble that defines your space. Like when you're at the grocery store and someone gets too close to you, especially in coronavirus, we know this very well, my personal space, someone's too close, you're like, oh my God, I can't breathe, you have to move away from me. That boundary was saying hello to my own sweet, intelligent membrane. Yeah. Energetic boundary. Greet it. Thank it for containing you and for keeping everything that is not you outside. Beautiful. Do you feel how the space changed when you guys did that? Yeah. Okay, so now we're centered, we are grounded, we are connected, and we are contained in our own space. We have definition. Take your time. Open your eyes, touch your body, feel your body, nice body. I love my body, I live in my body. My body is my home. Hello, me. Voila. Okay. Okay, and notice how that feels. Right? How does it feel to be in this space now than when you started? There's something to notice. And then I would love to hear from everybody where you're calling from. We know your name, kind of, because it's in your screen, so we can see that. Feel free to name yourself and tell us where you're calling from. And one word check-in, right? So it might be like one word check-in, meaning like, what is most alive for you right now? How are you feeling in this moment? Ishita calling in from Paris, France, feeling alive. And that's my check-in. Who would like to go next? Unmute yourself and jump in.
I'm Purva. I'm from Bangalore, India, and I'm feeling connected. Thank you so much.
Welcome, Purva.
Hi, I am Michelle from Mumbai. I enjoyed the meditation and I am feeling pain, bodily pain, and I am existing within that pain.
Thank you
Thank
for
you.
sharing that.
I'm Christiana Moore. I'm calling from Phoenix, Arizona, and I am feeling curiosity.
Welcome, Christiana, sorry, my bad.
Thank you.
Did I do that? Yes, thank you.
Hi, I'm Milena. I'm calling from Slovenia. And after this meditation, I feel calmed and relaxed. So I'm just awaiting what comes next. Thank you.
Thank you, Milena. Welcome. Who else?
Hi.
I'm Rohit.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, I'm Paula. I'm calling from Johannesburg in South Africa, and I'm feeling very present.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Rohit. I'm calling from Kerala, India. I feel like I'm cared for and protected. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. Who else?
I'm Poonam from Bangalore. I'm feeling kind of floaty and nice.
Welcome, Poonam.
I'm Roy in Bangalore, India, and I'm feeling energized.
Beautiful. Welcome. Anyone else who hasn't spoken and would like to, now is your chance to shine.
Hi, I'm Nicola. I'm calling in from Miami, Florida, and I'm feeling grounded.
Beautiful. Welcome, Nicola. Karen, I think you're the only one we didn't hear from, or maybe Mudita. Your chance if you would like to share.
Sure. I'm Karen from Utah in the USA, and I don't know how I'm feeling.
Cool. Good to know. Good to know. We have one more person joining us, and this is the last person I will admit. And then we move on. All right. Mudita, last chance. We're gonna move on. Okay, so what we just engaged is a practice that helps you connect deeper to the core of you, right? And many of you felt that, and maybe some of you, it brings up some discomfort, and it's just a good thing to notice what's happening. There they are. Ying. Welcome, Ying. We cannot see you or hear you. So before we dive into the work, I want to lay out a few things. First, you're being recorded because this is an offering for a global audience, and we're recording all of our sessions. If you are not comfortable with that, you can turn your camera off. You can choose how you share information. Just let me know if that is a problem for you. Second thing I'm going to say is this is a safe container, but safe does not always mean easy or comfortable. So the responsibility to protect and care for yourself is fully yours. And I ask that you truly check in and exercise it with care. Right? So take risks. You're at full choice. I invite you to be as vulnerable as feels comfortable, because the deeper the vulnerability, the deeper the freedom here. And how deep we go depends on how deep you go. So take great care of yourself and take great risks with yourself. I have nothing in my hands, as always. Look, nothing. I give you nothing. I take nothing from you. I am just here to stand with and for your freedom. And as a facilitator, my job is to get us into the places where we can see ourselves clearer. And I will stand for that. If you want to say no to something, if you want to pass, you're at complete choice in this container. Does this work for everybody? Is there someone it does not work for? Raise your hand, unmute yourself, make some noise, let me know. Awesome. So silence in this context means agreement. So if we're all in agreement, we will proceed. Forever hold your peace, whatever they say in church. Okay. So I'm going to count that as we're comfortable, we're taking care of ourselves, we know what our limits are, we're going to watch for ourselves, and we're going to show up and we're going to dive in. Power. Before we do anything around this topic, I'm going to invite you to take a posture that embodies power for you. What does that look like in your body? So don't think about it. Don't try to analyze it. There's many things we can do with that later. But for now, maybe you want to stand. Maybe it's a kneeling posture. Maybe it's a whatever it is. And so I will show you what it looks like for me. For me, when I feel my morning sits are my anchor. So for me, when I want to visit power, I kneel. And I sit here with a straight spine. Now check out what it is for you. Many of you are sitting in chairs. Maybe it's not optimum. Maybe it is optimum. I don't know. But I want you to invite a felt sense of you holding your power. Yeah. If you've seen the School of Rock, you know Jack Black with his legs wide apart, he's standing in the power posture. I don't know, maybe that's it. Yeah, look at Roy, everybody. And yeah, feel yourself. Yeah, gorgeous. Those of you I can see, I can track. Those of you I can't see, I don't know what's happening for you, but please follow with us on your own terms. Yeah, and you get to go away, you get to go anywhere. Beautiful. So we're going to hold this posture for a few minutes. Now I want you to check as I give you prompts. Notice any part of you that is efforting. Here. How much efforting exists in a place of power? If any. Take your time. Really get into it. Thank you for bringing us with you, Paula. Yeah, and maybe it's not a static place for you. Maybe it is a moving place for you. So play with your body. What does power feel like in your body? Yeah. So maybe check with your spine. What does a powerful spine feel like? This is a time to iterate. It is a time to play. Maybe the first posture you took is not quite doing it anymore. So you want to play, you want to move around, want to see, feel. Oh, what happens when I do this shape? What happens when I sit down? What happens when I stand up? Play with it. Yeah. So power. Okay. What does power feel like in your jaw? What does power feel like in your belly? This is the place where I know all is well in my kingdom. And the queen of my queendom. And I know I have infinite capacity to act. There is no action needed here, but if there was to be, I will act and it will be good. Power. Gorgeous. Those of you who are lying down with a spine that's anything but erect, I'm going to invite you to sit up and check out this place with an erect spine. Yeah. Surrender, different from power. There is power in surrender. Yeah, beautiful. Yeah, all is well in my kingdom, as the poet Walt Whitman said. He said, the north and the south are mine, the east and the west are mine. I inhale great draughts of air, of space, power. So there's usually our bodies are processing, and at one point there's a time space where it just clicks. The state of being clicks into place and flows through your whole body. We're looking for that moment. Yep, this is a place where I can rest. This is a place where I am connected to the deepest core of me. It requires us to know who we really are and know that what that is can't be taken. It cannot be taken from me through whatever might happen. I am what I am, and thus I stand. Power. Gorgeous. So if you feel like taking a seat, if you feel like breaking this posture, you may do so now, or you might want to stay in this posture a bit longer. I might invite you to play with this throughout the call. So whatever posture you take, the state of being, gorgeous, that this place is points to. Can you stay in that place for the whole 90 minutes we are together? And the rest of your life, but that's not my watch. Yes. Okay. Beautiful. So without leaving the felt sense of your own sovereignty, your own power, can I get some reports? What do you notice in this place? What happened to the whole space of a whole room? as we started to coalesce into the state of power in ourselves, what do you notice? I've muted everybody and I will unmute you all if you don't unmute yourself. So go ahead, tell me what you notice.
Shall I speak?
Absolutely, no one else is. Your turn.
Yeah. So I would say that what I've noticed that, okay, there's energy actually pointed at me. So I'm the center of the energy. Although personally, I would say that this power pose was not at all a nice pose for me. Obviously, I'm having a problem with power. I felt very bad in my belly, and it was not relaxing, not a rest pose at all. Although I was still sitting and so on, but my spine was cracking and saying, it hurts. Why don't you pull yourself down and be more relaxed?
Oh,
my experience.
Gorgeous.
Scared.
Did you say my experience is I'm scared?
No. I just said this is my experience, so I just shared.
Oh, yeah. Well,
I'm not
thank
scared.
you.
I'm not scared. I just shared how I felt. So we just experiment.
Perfect. Thank you. We are here to do many experiments. So we're going to notice what we notice. Thanks for sharing that. Right. So I wonder how many people resonated with Milena's share. Right? How many of us were a little uncomfortable in the posture of power? Like how many times a day do we cower down out of that place? Because that's easier than the other. Right. Who else? What do you notice?
It's kind of interesting because for me, sitting on the chair didn't feel enough. I did need more space. And it's certainly been my experience over the last year that the floor is it's a great source of power for me, where I have experienced the most total and complete sense of surrender, and almost like the dissolution of myself, and the floor holds me. And so I find there's a huge amount of letting go and a huge amount of rest at the same time. And so the floor has become my bedrock, my foundation upon which I can just sort of lift myself up again. And so at some point when you invited us to go from the reclining position into a spine, erect spine, there was a part of me that felt I haven't rested enough. And in a way, it speaks very much to that part of me that tried to experience my own agency through doing for a long time, and through being active in an active sort of way, or being alive in an active sort of way. And that has been progressively changing and has been changing for a long time. And now there's more the beginning of an experience of the beingness and the power in resting and in just being. And so that is definitely at an energetic level. It's not just mental or heart level. It's really like at a cellular level. And so when I'm standing now erect, sitting on the floor, I still don't want to sit on the chair. I want to sit on the floor, but I'm erect now, and it feels there's more presence in my body. It feels more solid. It feels more able to move into action from this position. And yeah.
Right. So that's a really beautiful noticing. So power is my capacity to act, not necessarily my action.
And for me, it's become imperative to act from a place of being and from rest.
That's the foundation. Absolutely. Yeah. Beautiful. So how many of you noticed some kind of familiarity, like, oh yeah, like my body just clicks into place and it feels easy and good. That's it. Michelle, I saw you nod.
Yeah. So my place, I wasn't think I struggle with power, with accepting power, with showing power, and with also holding power in my body. And I enjoyed that exercise, even though I am in some amount of pain. Because I realized that when I am in Padmasan or even Ardha Padmasan, that is my position of power. I didn't know it was power because I just feel very aligned, and with my spine is straight, like I feel like the energy flowing, I feel connected, I feel in my body because I have a tendency to be in my head. And so now I realize that yes, it is my position of power, and I am grateful for that. I certainly resonated with the last share about doing and not being. And I often sort of inhabit an ADHD, sort of slightly frenetic kind of energy and wanting to get everything done. And yeah, so I want to find ways of integrating it when I'm standing, because very often when I'm talking to somebody, I am very slightly on the spectrum. And when I'm talking to somebody, I have social anxiety. And I can't control what comes out of my mouth. So maybe if I find a way of standing really straight in my power, then I'll be able to be more centered within myself. That's my understanding of what we just did.
Okay, thank you. So I'm gonna offer you something. Instead of, can everybody do this with her? So instead of trying to stand really straight, right? If you weren't gonna contort or manipulate yourself into standing really straight, and you're just gonna let your body, so everybody do this. Let your body show you. So you're working with intelligent fields. That's a given. Intelligent fields respond, okay? So you're gonna say without doing, now this is a great chance to shine. Those of you who don't want to do from the, from the compulsive place, we're just gonna surrender, we're gonna listen, really listen. And there is a field of resource holding you here to make that more facile. So close your eyes, maybe make some silly noises. I always la 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 la. And why we do that is to get the thinking mind to, have a break. Ordinary mind, take a break. Thank you very much. Shake, wiggle. I'm not being very serious here. We're not doing, we're not solving the world's crises. You don't have to. Yeah, great. Okay. This crises only get solved when we don't see them as that. So it's easier this way. Great. So we're gonna shoosh all of that, and then you're gonna say, body, show me power. And notice what happens in me. Body, show me my power. You just give it some time. You're just listening. Just listening. And I'm gonna ask you silly questions, and you just let your body live the answers, okay? It's a fun game. We're just playing a game. What do your hands want to do? What does your pelvis want to do? What does your back feel like? What does a powerful heart feel like? What do your legs want to do here? What do your feet want to do? What does your head want to do? If you were to let it have its way with you, what does power want to do with your body? Gorgeous. Yeah, we're not taking ourselves very seriously here, so we might want to open our mouths. Let that jaw go, guys. Let yourself enjoy. Play. Paula's on it. Look at her. When in doubt, check her out. Yep, enjoy. What does power want to do through you? How does it want to show up through you in this moment? Beautiful. Beautiful. So for me, in this context, power is alignment with your deepest truth, your deepest authentic current of life, regardless of consequence. And when I'm aligned to that, I'm aligned with my power. This is the place of not my will, but thy will be done. It's like, oh my gosh, it can't not happen through me. This is what must be. And so it is. It's not, it has nothing to do with me. And it's fully my responsibility. Does that make sense? Let that land in you. Yeah. And then wherever you are, in your power, you're going to go for a walk. Go for a little walk. Feel yourself moving through the world, holding your power. You might want to come say hi. There's other people in the street. There's an Ishita, there's a Roy, there's some people in the forest. Who's here now? And how do you meet us from this place? There. Yeah. Yeah. So in Buddhism, there's a beautiful way to understand comparative mind. And they say, the Buddha, he spoke to this beautifully. He said, when I say I am less than, I am greater than, better than, less than, or equal to, I am in comparative mind. Right? So in this place, when I'm in my body, in my power, notice, is there any concern of who is where and how much better you are than them and how much worse they are than you, or like who is equal to me? What's happening in your mind? Right? Maybe something's missing. Usually all of us have this, or a lot of people have this voice in their head that's like sitting here. It's like, look, she's more enlightened than me. He's more, I don't know, wealthy than I. And look at her. You know, there's this like judgment happening, right? Yeah. And then when the ego gets scared, it's like, oh my gosh, he's so much more powerful than me, and I must be. And then I will be like, okay, I must power over her, show her how, yeah, keep her down, put her in her place. Yeah. What happens when you are connected to this place in you? Is that happening in you? I know I'm being very facetious here. Yeah. Yeah. So just notice. Notice how you greet other people when you hold your power. Notice how you greet yourself when you hold your power. Gorgeous. And then hold it, and I'm going to do something, and I'm going to ask you to respond and just check me out. Those of you who are video off, maybe you can, look at me, feel into me. I'm going to take a different posture. So I'm going to take on a different posture, and I want you to track with your body, which is already happening. Body is tracking mine. Notice how you feel when I do this. Hi, everybody. Yeah, so I see some of you seeing it. What's happening in you? Notice. So in my body, my pelvis is contracted. I have the felt sense of fear in my body and a desire for you to really love me and like me. And I'm grasping, I'm throwing out like, woe is me. I don't know if you can track this. Some of you, I feel you are tracking. Yeah, what's happening in you as I do this? And I really want to have a conversation with you. So let's be friends. Yeah, okay, I'm gonna shake that off. Okay. I'm sure we do this unconsciously 20 times a day, but when we do it consciously, the body's like, fuck, no, don't want that. Okay, so what did you notice? It was a short experiment, but just notice, what did that feel like in you when I went there?
I felt intimidated.
Cool. Can you say a little more about that?
Yeah, kind of my sense was that you were trying to take power from me, and I just got intimidated.
Cool. I love it. I love hearing this. So I want you to say one more. Can you check in one level deeper? You got intimidated. You felt like I was asking for your power. I was trying to take it from you. And what was the felt sense in your body?
Kind of to put my head down a little bit.
Mm. And how did you want to relate with me, if at all, from that place?
I didn't really want to relate with you.
Really
I felt like I needed to protect myself.
Beautifully seen.
Emotionally.
Yeah. 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 So do you feel like the whole group, something happened in the whole group when I went there? Did you guys notice the space changed?
I resonated strongly with Karen actually, and I felt yeah, there was a sense of sort of like you opened your eyes wide, and it made me want to sort of shy away a little bit and sort of cover or maybe protect myself, but not bodily, but like mentally, I was sort of moving inward.
Mm-hmm. Really good to notice. What else? Who else?
Yeah, for me, it was very interesting because I felt the timidity, I felt the neediness, I felt the fear, I felt the almost the permission on your side to be wanted and welcomed by the space. And I felt almost like a vulnerability that was asking to be taken care of. And in my gut, I felt all of that. And I could stay with that without any particular sense of responding or reacting, just witnessing and welcoming it. But then in my heart, I had a desire to rescue you and to come to the inner space where I could make you feel better and I could make you feel wanted and included.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, Paula. Yeah, so it's really, why am I doing this? I have a message from someone who says, I don't want to be recorded, but I'm fully present. The last round was overwhelming and made me want to run away. My gut was saying this is too much right now. So really good to notice, right? Why we're doing this is happening in our life all the time. How many times in your day are you around other humans, and how are you relating through your body How are you holding power? How many times a day do you experience what I just did in yourself or someone else? And how do you relate to that? So it's really good to notice what happens in me when that happens in you. Yeah, so some of us felt intimidated, some could feel present. No one wanted to relate so far, right? Was there anyone in the group who really was like, oh yeah, I felt like moving towards me in that space?
Oh, maybe for me it was a strange thing. I was just staying in my film. And I was starting to watch with curiosity. What the hell is she doing now? What does she want to show us? But I was not relating to you anymore. I got quite disconnected to the group and to what was going on. I was still in my own world. So I don't know how it feels, because I see that the others were very strongly connected with you, but I was just thinking, okay, what is she doing now? You know,
Yeah.
Okay, what comes now out of that? Because we were still in the power, and I finally started to feel a little bit more comfortable with my power, you know?
Yeah, so beautiful noticing. I don't know, but it's something to check, right? In that place, you and I, we lost connection.
Yeah, exactly. I lost
We
the
lost
connection.
relation.
I was just in my world, and I was okay. I was the observer, but I was not deeply connected with you. This is what I felt in this exercise.
Is there anyone who felt like rescuing me?
Yeah.
Or like being...
I wanted to hug you and say, just be there with you.
All right.
Not say a word.
Okay. Good. Good to notice. Really good to notice. Really good to notice. So go ahead.
So you know, I also had the same. I think at a deep level, I noticed everything and I stayed with everything. And then I noticed the movement in my heart at the same time towards the end. Almost as your eyes ask permission to enter into the space, more than just through the energy, through your body movement. I felt a sense of wanting to be connected, and the way that I tried to, or that I felt my heart moving towards connection, was to care for you, to want to care, me there for you, for whatever it is that you were exuding that was asking to be held and connected with.
Beautifully seen. Thank you for sharing that. So many different ways that we relate to that place. Was there anyone who was like, I want to kill her, right? Like, I want to fucking shake you up and like, I want to strangle this energy right now. Is there anyone who felt anger towards me in that place? It's a vulnerable question to ask and pose, but it's one to notice. No one wanted to slap me around and be like, shake it off. No? Okay, well, you guys. So why I wanted to introduce it this way is I think I'm in you are all, healers and teachers in your own right. So I want to just know, is there anyone who is not familiar with the drama triangle, the power triangle here? Victim, savior, persecutor. Okay, so I have, is there someone who has not heard of these words and does not know what I'm talking about?
I have heard of it, but I don't remember it completely.
Okay. So I want to introduce this as a very clear, easy way to understand, and it is through your felt sense. So when we began, you were sitting in your power, right? When you have now felt the sense of holding what in this context we are going to call power with, or true power. Right? There's a sense of I am full in myself. You're a sovereign being. I have sovereignty over me. You have sovereignty over you. And there's mutuality between us. Right? I'm not asking you to give yourself up for me. I'm not giving myself up for you. Power meets power. Presence meets presence. And then we have relation. Right? And then if I go into that place, of the contraction, what I was doing is I was sideways trying to get power from you from what I will in this context call power under. If I'm scared, sorry, we have so many latecomers. I don't know if they're going to get anything from this anymore, but is it okay if I let them in? Anyone object to that? No. I'm always stunned when people show up so late. Welcome, see you. I'm going to just leave here, ask us questions as they arise. But we're talking about the drama triangle, which in this context I call the power triangle, which is 3 positions we play in relation to diffuse the discomfort, the extra charge in relation. So if I am scared, when I am afraid, I want to find safety, and my ego usually confuses it as control. So most people in our culture think of power as having what in our context we're going to call power over, dominance. Power being I make you do what I want. This resonate, right? So Napoleon, supposedly a very powerful man. Buddha, a very powerful man, but in a very different way. Right? So the Buddha was offered, I don't want to tell you all the stories, but like he was a prince, he was a king, right? And he left all that and he said, I don't want to use that. That doesn't work. I know the degree to which that power goes. I want real power. But in our culture, we conflate dominance with power. And when I went into that victim place, right, when I disowned my own power, my own agency, I was looking to you as surrogates to give me. Does this make sense? I'm seeing a lot of people writing, and it's way more important to me that you like feel it in your bodies and write it down, and all of this is recorded. So feel this with me, right? When I disown my power, 3 things can happen. You want to rescue me and agree. The agreement I'm asking for is, oh, I don't have any. Can you, or like, will you make me feel whole again? And so the ones who feel pulled towards are like, oh yeah, let me save you, right? Emerges the savior position. No one in this group was persecutor, but often, right, one of the ways that I know as a facilitator that somebody is really disowning their power, it can come out of left field. But if I feel a charge towards someone, if I feel like this anger at them, I'm like, oh, they're in victim. My persecutor is responding. So if I continually disown my power, at some point you will want to kill me. Right? That happens. So now I'm going to ask you to look at this in your own life. So check this out. In your head, right? How many times do you play persecutor, victim, and savior? The power triangle is happening inside you, between us, and in the whole collective. All the time, except when we are in presence. Now, I need you to check this in your experience, because I can just keep talking, right? My words don't matter at all. So check it out. Is it possible to be connected to your true power and be in any of those positions? Nope. So when I say, oh, the world is like this, and the society just doesn't care, we are never going to change. What position am I in? Victim. I'm like, them out there, they have the power and they're not using it, right? Like, so, and me, my helpless, I'm good, they're bad. Like, I have created division. I've created otherness. I have like taken power away from myself and given it to something else. And now I am feeling helpless. So that's the societal level, very easy. Persecutor, fucking need to change and they're not doing it. And I'm going to be the one who's going to bring healing to the world. Persecutor, trying to get healing to the world. Very interesting. Happens a lot in our culture, right? There's that. I've created separation, and separation cannot heal separation. So very important, very funny. Or savior, right? Savior is like, oh, you poor thing, I'll carry you on my back, you come. It's all deeply disempowering, deeply disempowering. Makes sense? Right?
Maybe I can share something
Please.
very quickly. When your description of the perpetrator made me think that was the rescuer. The whole thing of I will save the world or I will change it sounded to me like a rescuer, but now I sort of see the difference.
Feel the energy, not the content.
Yeah, I'm just also seeing that I thought I was mainly in victim and rescuer, but I realized that I am also in perpetrator sometimes. Yeah.
Persecutor, perpetrator, bully, many, many words, right? Choose your flavor. We all, so the thing about this triangle, right? Many people teach it and work with it. I like the way I work with it, of course, because I think I'm the best, blah, blah, blah. The thing that's really important to see here is that if you play one position, you play all three. If you play victim, you play savior, you play bully. Right? So track this in the voice in your head. Notice, right? Usually there's this like shaming voices like, oh, I don't know, I should be thinner. You're not thin, you should be thinner. And then the person's inner critic will be like, oh, I'm not thin, I'm not good enough, goes to victim. Persecutor goes to victim. Then it's like, oh, if I just did blah, 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 then I would be thin and happy. That's my savior speaking. And the triangle continues. The only way out of this power dynamic is to stop playing one of the roles.
Ishita?
Madame?
May I ask you something?
Please.
When you say when you play one, you play all three, not concurrently. I mean, you have to play one. In other words, if you are able to play one, means that you can actually fall into all the other ones as well, but
Wait.
obviously not at the same time.
You know, sometimes, obviously not at the same time, but it depends. It can be very quick switches.
Yes, yeah.
Right? It can be very simultaneous, because the minute what happens when I'm in this is I'm out of center.
Yes.
Right? So I'm in defense. Some people's defense throws energy at other people. Some people's defense throws energy underground. They disappear, they hide. Some people's defense puts up a wall. We all have our own defenses. But the minute I'm in this game, I'm disconnected from the flow of life. That is me. And that means it's not a, like, these are just things that we are defining, right? These are not, they don't exist in existence. They're just words to point to different aspects of that distortion, right? But how many of you now, okay, look in your head. Let's do this experientially, because we don't have the time of the world almost, although I would love to play with you for like a day. So check this out in your head. Where do you play a victim voice? Where do you hear the victim voice? Which believes, right? The main story of the victim is I'm helpless. I don't know how to do this. I'm not good at this. I'm stuck. I can't. I don't know. Yeah. Anyone who has trouble finding this, you tell me and I will help you find it. The more you make it conscious, the less it has power over you. So we are doing this in service, okay? Okay. Main story of the persecutor is you are wrong. You're the problem. You don't get it. I am doing this for everyone, right? I am going to save the world. Like heroes in our culture, very often persecutor energy. I am doing this for the greater good. You are not getting it. I need to defend myself. I need to fight if I'm going to be seen. Right? Like that's persecutor. Is there any part of you, anyone who's not finding persecutor, you tell me, we will find it. Right? Some part in your life where you believe Somebody else is the problem and that you know better, right? Main triggered emotion here is anger. Main triggered emotion in the victim is fear, right? Everybody found a place? Okay. Savior. Main flavor of the savior is, oh, I can help you. I can help you. And I need to help you for me to be safe. That's the difference between playing a savior and doing the work because I love it. I'm here for me, not for you. I'm not here to save you. I'm here to express the joy of life that comes flowing through me. My pleasure. Right? Savior is, I'm doing this for their well-being. I'm doing this or they'll be upset with me. If I can just teach them this, then they'll love me. If they'll be happy, then I'll be happy. It is, the main flavor is obligation. Right? Do you see a place? This is very often very clear. Like, life is so amazing. Relationship will show you this more clearly than anywhere else. Right? How
So,
many of
Ishita?
us are doing this in our life? Yes, madam.
So to just clarify, although the actions or the words of a perpetrator and a rescuer seem similar at times, because they say, I'll show the world, I'll come and show you what to do, how now to do it. There is almost like a rescuing narrative, but the energy that comes is an aggressive energy. It's a lording over type of energy.
Precisely.
Whereas the energy that comes through the rescuer, it's one, it feels more like meek and gentle, but it's still one that
It could
I'm
go
doing.
either way.
Yeah,
Right?
but
It
it's
could
almost
go
like
either way.
yeah,
You're
I'm
trying to
doing it for me.
distinguish.
Yeah, the
Look at
energy
the
is
flavor of the emotion. So the
yeah.
place in you that's angry, that's powering over, both savior and persecutor, from my perspective, are taking power from here. Right? I mean, you can say sometimes saviors will do it from here, like, oh, I'll be nice to you so that you'll be nice to me. Right? Victims are usually very powerful in relation. Attack from the victim position, one of the most insidious things in our culture, in our life. Like, hold on, Michelle has her hand raised. Let me just finish this thought, right? Very important to notice that all three of these positions are coming from the same distortion, which is fear. Fear. Everyone is scared. So the guy in your family who is like yelling and like shouting and like dissipating their charge, or throwing it all around, like bossing over, scared. Donald Trump, scared. The addict, scared. The rescuer, scared. And the other thing to notice, and this is harder for us to see, is that they're all innocent. Each of these positions is fully innocent. I bet there is no one on this planet who does not play them. Nobody. Different levels, different times. Everyone has it. And it is just life's way of finding balance. It's the system's best attempt at finding equilibrium. Right? And in our culture, it's very, very skewed. We think persecutors are bad guys. They're the easiest to spot, right? The one who is like holding the whip and whipping, it's the easiest to persecute. So we become persecutors in that process. The hardest one to see is the victim. People who play victim in a relationship often have the most power in it. Because it's simply not true. Everyone has, I mean, I'm not talking about abuse. I'm not talking about children. I'm not talking in those scenarios. But if you're a grown-up, you have resource, and if you are playing the victim, it's a way to manipulate others. It's a subtle way to have power over. And this in our culture, we think is like, oh, so sad. Let me come and rescue you. That's the one who gets the most compassion, right? And no compassion for the persecutor, much reverence for the savior. We're all perpetuating the distortion. Okay. Because we're short on time, I want you to have one thing to take out that might support you when you find yourself playing the game, right? So you're all going to play the game. I'm going to play the game. I was playing the game with my husband 2 days ago, right? I was like, oh, being all savior. I was like, oh, honey, I can help you. You know, if you're healers, you're here, you play the game. So you want to notice what the emotional body is saying. When you're at ground, when you're at center, there is no obligation, there is no anger. Maybe there is a healthy impulse to act. But you are not blaming, shaming, guilting. You are not afraid. You do not believe you are powerless. You are not carrying the weight of the world. You're not expecting to be abandoned. You're not attacking. You just are life moving through. You're in your core. You're connected. You're grounded. You are in your body. You haven't left your body up here. You aren't trying to go into someone else's space. You are holding your space. Does this make sense, you guys? Okay, so the important thing, right? You will see this in your relationships a lot. And why are we talking about relation? Because everything, relationship is the building block of life. You are CEOs, you are healers, you are teachers, you are parents, you are spouses. The whole game is hinged on how you use your power in that relationship. It's not what you do, it's how you do it. It's not what you're creating, it's where you're creating from. And if you're creating from any of these three positions, guarantee, maybe not today, maybe not in 20 years, sometime the mirror will come back and show you. It will hurt, right? So we want to notice. When I notice, I can hold it lightly. Like, oh, I'm so sorry, I was playing savior to you. That is really disempowering. I'm sorry, I took your power away by trying to help you. You don't need help. You're a sovereign being. You know what you need. I'm here to support you, but I will not do it for you. I'm so sorry I was playing victim to you and disowning my own power. It's disrespectful to you and my relationship. Apology is easiest way out of the game. Demolish the power dynamic. Right? So who is one person in your life that you need to apologize to? That you need to clear this field with? We're going to find out. I want to do one more exercise. We can have a share. If you guys want to stay late and share, you're totally welcome. But I'm going to use this time to have you do one more felt sense. Okay. So feel in your life. Drop your pens. Forget about it. No notes. I am playing Nazi. I am the, yeah, okay. Notice which position, victim, savior, or bully, do you play in the relationships I am going to name. Okay. We're making this conscious so that you can choose a different way. If you work in an organization, your boss, what role are you playing? If you have a partner, in the sense of a spouse, a significant other of any kind, what role do you play in relation? The main flavor of the role you play in relation to them. If you're having trouble identifying, you tell me, we will find it together. And no shame. It's like, okay, I play all of them, but what is my main flavor? If you have children, what is the main role you play in relation to your children? Main flavor. If you have parents, Let's say mom. How are you relating to mom? Got it? Everyone got it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Dad. How do you relate to your father? What is the role you play?
Sorry, I think I could use some more examples of like specific behaviors and which role they're connected to.
Okay. Do you want to pick one? How do you relate to your dad? Like, what is the flavor of feeling? Is it like, are you attacking him? Are you usually trying to help him? Are you wanting him to save you? What's happening?
Trying to help him, I guess.
Okay.
So that one would be savior.
Yeah.
That one I can figure out.
Mm-hmm.
The other two, I'm having a harder time making concrete.
Persecutor. Okay, so one person in your life that you are critiquing, telling that they're wrong, you feel attacked by them, you want to attack them, you feel abandoned by them, you expect to be hurt, you're trying to control them, any of the above. That would be persecutor. Right? Like, this is the bully position. This is the, just like the holiness embodied is Donald Trump. He plays persecutor to perfection. Everyone's out to get him. And he's going to get them all. And he's the biggest, right? It's like, I have to get bigger than you to feel safe. That's persecutor. And it's your fault. I am in this deep pain because of you. So I'm only hurting you because you're hurting me. You're making me hurt you. That's often their stance. Okay. Does that help?
Yeah, that helps for persecutor.
Victim is, I feel totally unempowered. I have no power. I don't know how to do it. Like, oh my God, I'm helpless. Please help me. What I embodied in the beginning of our call is like, oh, I want you to like me. I'm here. You know, I need you because I can't do it myself. So please, right? Like, that's victim. Or it can also look like just deep hopelessness. Like, I got nothing. There's no way out. Nothing's gonna work. I'm oppressing myself, but I'm not gonna admit it. I'm gonna pretend like the whole world is oppressing me. I truly believe, I actually have to be very clear about my words. These are projections that feel really real in that space. So to the victim, they really, like, if you try to argue with a victim, it's not gonna work. That is their reality in that moment. Is they cannot see, cannot reach, cannot feel their power. They don't believe it exists, right? That's victim. And going back, how are you relating to, let's see, we did God. Did we do God? Main flavor of relationship with God, higher power, source, whatever you want to call it. What are the cultural distortions that you've taken on? What are your, how do you relate? Is God going to come down and save you? Is God like trying to, you know, monitor you? Is, you know, what is, how are you relating to God? How are you relating to authority figures in general, right? I have a certain amount of authority in this container, I'm running it, right? Notice if there's some distortion that comes up in relation with me. Power figures in your life, who is a dominant authority figure? What is that, your relationship to them? Do you feel victim to them, less than? You want to thwart them down, persecutor? What is happening? And lastly, I want to throw this in because a lot of us in this culture have distortions with money. How are you relating to money? Which role do you play? Okay, that's all the ones that I had. And now I just want you to take a moment and reflect. And when you see yourself playing that role, what do? It's coming back to that place we began in. Is the only antidote. And it's a constant practice. It is a cultivation in your whole life. I teach an 18-month course, and I say to them, look, if you get nothing from this whole course, you just get this one thing called basics, you will have gotten a really big thing. And you just got at least half of what I call basics. If you just practice that and nothing else, you would have done a really big thing. You breathe yourself back to center. You find your connection to the ground. The ground is holding you, actually. It didn't abandon you. People might appear to be abandoning you, but you cannot project that onto the ground. Right? You cannot play victim to life. You can. But when you're connected to your core, when you're connected to the ground, when you have your space and you fill it with yourself, it's very hard to be like, oh, I have no power here. So that is your one thing, I always give homework. This is your homework to practice and play. Please, when you see these voices show up in your head, when you feel yourself, and you will learn to track this in your body. When the charge heightens, I know I'm going into this role. Oh, what do I need? I need to accept I'm powerless, and that's okay. I need to accept that I'm powerless to help anyone else, right? That's the reclamation for the savior. I can't help you. You have to help yourself. Right? So you start to notice, and as your attention gets facile in recognizing that, you just learn to stay grounded in your core. Okay, that's all I have. Questions, and now we can nerd out about anything you guys want. I have an extra half an hour just for Q&A. And to tell you about courses that I'm facilitating, please, if you enjoyed this is a lot of what we do in something called Murmurations. Murmurations is a place where people come together to fly as one being. So we're learning energetics, somatics, relational dynamics. It's like all the juiciest things in the world for me. And we're coming together to be a part of something bigger than ourselves so we can show up in service of the whole. It lights me up. If you're interested, there's like tons of information. I've written the Mahabharata on my website. Check it out. Questions. How is that for you? Reflections. What do you got?
So I'm going to jump right in. And I have a question. It's slightly off sort of center. I'm trying to think of what it would look like to not play any of these three roles. And I'm thinking of a particular person, and if I ask for help, and the person sort of prioritizes his own needs and sort of negates or sort of lowers down the intensity of my need and tells me I don't need to worry about it. Is that not playing a role, or is that playing a role? I'm not sure.
What do you think?
See, my gut says it's playing some role.
So then what makes you ask me?
Because I can't think of, I think, which one it is.
Or maybe you sit with it and you check. And then what could it be? What does it feel like? So like look at it. I didn't hear you.
It feels like a perpetrator role, I think.
Persecutor. Sorry, I always mess up. Persecutor, perpetrator, yes. Very different, but sound similar, get confused. Persecutor, okay. So one thing to check is how are we holding power? Where is the balance of power? And the next thing to remember is this has nothing to do with the other person. Very important. Maybe I didn't say this clearly, but all these roles, they have nothing to do with anybody outside. This is all about you. The game is happening inside you. The only way, I mean, this happened in Germany, right? How did Hitler get so powerful? People believed he was. I can sit here and not want to have power over you, and I will still end up distorting it if you hand it to me, if you insist I have it. It has nothing to do, I mean, relationships, of course, there are boundaries that need to be drawn, but it's all about you. Boundaries are about you. They come from you protecting and taking care of yourself. The more you can do that without defense, the higher your evolution. So notice the power dynamic you're in. One way to know you're in a power dynamic is when you feel triggered. It's your felt sense. You're feeling a charge. You want to act from that charge. You're in a power dynamic. Good to know. Okay, questions. Roy, you're very silent and you've been nodding along. So I'm curious what's happening.
I've just been enjoying this, resonating with the drama triangle. It's I find that the victim and perpetrator, I often like combine the two. Like it's I almost have a hard time separating it.
Yeah, you're not alone in that. Sometimes it's like, oh, I don't know what to do. And then it's like, you should do it for me. And then it's like, wait, it's a slippery slope. See you. I cannot see you, but I see your hand.
Hey there, sorry it's so late now, so I am not, on video. But hey, that was absolutely amazing. But I do have a question. It was so intriguing that you brought up money. And I'm trying to picture, how these three roles would look like in relation to an object like money. Do you mind just expanding on that a little bit?
For sure. Is anyone else interested in this, or we do this offline? Yes? Okay. So we're not going to talk about it. You're just going to visualize money.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone got it? Now give money a body and make it a person. Okay. Now, how do you want to relate to money? What is your body doing? Who has the power? Are you sharing it equally? Who has more power? Who feels overpowered and who feels manipulated? What's happening? That's your relationship with money.
I see. That's super interesting. Yeah. Okay. So giving it shape. Okay. That's
Sex.
really cool.
Who wants to do this with sex? Look at sex in your life, your relation to your own sexuality. Are you a victim to your sexuality? Are you persecuting it? I don't know how you play savior. Oh yeah, you could play savior to your sexuality too. Yeah. Yeah. Sex, money, love, God, family, great mirrors, great mirrors. Okay, does that help? See you?
Yeah, very, very much so. Yep. Thank you.
For sure.
So if you deny sex, or if you're in denial of one of the elements, then what role would you be in then? Would we be if you're in denial of the relational aspect to that something, whether it's sex or money?
I would need more of a concrete example to understand what you mean.
I mean, for me, what came up as an instinctive sense when you talk both about money and sex is to run.
Okay. So who has power in that relation?
I mean, I get power by running away.
Is that true?
I don't know. I'm just trying to think.
Feel it with your body.
Well,
where is my power when I need to run away?
It's outside of me. I'm giving it to Mani or Six.
Yeah, you are.
So I'm handing over power, so I'm the victim.
Yep.
Okay.
Well seen.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, everybody. Before you go, Michelle, no, not yet. Okay, we have to do something very important before we close. So we'll do that. And then those who need to stay and ask questions, you're welcome to. So before you go, we must disengage. So we engaged our fields and now we're going to disengage them. So close your eyes. Find your body. It's still here, still holding you. Feel your felt sense of your core. Feel those same roots that we sent down. Gorgeous. And feel your space bubble, the edge of your space bubble. And then notice the land that's holding you. Thank it for holding you. Thank it for talking to my land. All across the world, America, France, India, all these places, your land in connection with our land. Say thank you and then ask it to stop and return back to its neighbors. There it goes. Ooh. Right. And then notice what you notice. Feel your body, touch your body. I live here. I live in my body. Beautiful. So this is the kind of thing that we do in murmurations, and we practice as a group, looking at integrating our shadows and our light through the lens of energetics, through personal dynamics, at least 6 months, and then the cohorts usually end up extending themselves. So it's a fun journey, and I would love to see you all in it. If you're interested, go to my website. We'll set up a time to talk, because I love doing this work, and especially with people who are here to show up for something bigger than themselves. Thank you so much for coming. If you have any more questions, I have another 10 minutes. I'd be happy to answer them. And if you need to leave, feel free to disconnect. Maybe just take a moment and feel how the space feels. Just acknowledge the journey you went on. You went on a journey today, by the way, everybody. So your body did a lot of work. You might notice your bodies are busy after this session. So you might want to take a little bit of a walk, move your body, go for a swim, something you can do. Not too much. Just care for your body, because it's learning things that your conscious mind can't grasp right now. Okay. And thank you.
Can I say something?
Yes, madam.
Can you just spell it out in the chat what I need to, where I can follow you, your website?
Oh yeah, of course.
Because there are many Ishita Sharmas. There is a movie star, I think, in India.
I know, it was very embarrassing.
I don't want to follow her.
Like very sexy movie star. I was like,
I don't want to follow her.
I
I'd rather
wish.
follow
I mean, I
you.
wish I was that, but it's not this incarnation. So I just put my website in the chat. It's cometocenter.com. And you can just, if you want, you can directly email me, Ishita@cometocenter.com. And I'm going to add you all to my mailing list. And if you want to unsubscribe, feel free. But I'll bring you with me. So you'll hear from me. I'll send you a note. I'll ask you what role you're playing and how you're taking those clothes off as you wish.
Would love to hear that. And the group that you spoke about, what is it called?
It's called murmurations. And murmuration, if you don't know what that is a flock. It's this thing that birds do. It's so beautiful. It's a natural phenomenon that happens where birds in a flock seem to be dancing as one being. And scientists are like still trying to figure out why, because our little minds need to know why. But it's this thing that you notice, especially in starlings, and you might have seen it. And it really resonates for me because that's what we are doing here. Whether we actively know it or not, like when we consciously make that impulse to come together, it's like a leaderless group. It's like there's no one bird who's like, come on, now you're going to follow me. But like the whole group has this intelligence and is listening to something deeper. And as it channels it, there is this beautiful, seamless, I mean, my body's lit up just talking about it, dance that happens, right? And you can feel it in the group, right? If you come and work with me longer, you can feel, maybe somewhere we touched it today, but usually it's a very intimate experience. And when we're all in authentic relation with ourselves and each other, it just happens. You know, in the first 2 hours, people are falling in love with each other. Like, oh my God, it's just been me the whole time. And there's this magnificence that starts to show up, and that's power. And that's power in service of love. That's what the work is about. Oh, and now I'll give you that because I'm so gung-ho about it. The website for that is, it's on my website, cometoCenter.com/group intensive. It's a group intensive where relationship is the catalyst for our awakening and our healing. Right? I mean, I love bringing together both trauma healing and the evolution of consciousness because they have to go hand in hand for me. And then I guess the third part of this course is it's healing, awakening, and then aligning. It has to, as we engage deeper states, expanded states of awareness, as we embody them, bring them down through our bodies, then we have to live it into the world. And like how I'm doing, how I'm relating, what I'm creating, those three aspects, attention, intention, action, walk together. So it's extra sparkly for me because then these are like, you know, catalysts. These are visionaries and catalysts and leaders and healers and closet monks. And, you know, we need them. We need you all to show up. These are like CEOs who are done with the old paradigm. These are like students of life. So you will be in good company. And it's intimate. It's I keep it small, no more than 10 people at a time, because then we get to go deeper. And then we get to really have enough bodies in the room to where we can, you know, see how we are projecting mom and dad and all of that. And then we could reclaim it. And there's enough space. So that's a little bit about murmurations. If you're listening, I can talk forever. There's a astrologer I bring in to help you all see the karmic structure that you're here to dissolve, that you're here to both fully embody and leave behind. This is not the kind of astrologer who's going to, you know, like predict your future. This is going to happen. No, this is the kind of astrology that says, oh, you took your first breath when this was happening. Now look, your energy, this is what the opportunity is for your life. And this is whether you want to step into it, not you, totally your choice, right? Because when I do it, when I call you all out, when I call people out and I show them how it's happening, you might not trust me, but if you have a map that says, oh, look, I've come here to embody my power. And I might be like, Karen, is this, you know, in line with your life task? And you could challenge me, but then you have something like, oh, maybe this is the time. So I bring in someone who's really beautiful. He's amazing. So he does energetic astrology. Then there's usually a cacao ceremony where we come together and we feel what plant medicine can do, right? Because it's about not just connecting to yourself, it's connecting to each other and the bigger planet. It's really important. The sun and the moon and everything in between. Right. So those are the rhythms that happen through murmurations. So if you're interested, if any of this resonates, reach out. We'll just have a talk.
And we meet through that online.
Yeah, for this one we meet online. And now that I don't know, my life might make me move to Europe, I might offer a European cohort, which would be kind of around this time and more friendly to Asia too. But there's definitely one happening. I think we said Tuesdays, 7 to 9 p.m. Eastern Boston time, which is where I used to live. And there might be another one if there's enough interest in Europe. Friendly time, Europe and Asia friendly. We start on the September equinox. So again, we're aligning with the deeper rhythms of time, cyclical seasons. So we're going to start on the equinox, September 21st. And we're going to go for 6 months. And at which point we'll see if we want to create module 2 together or not. Questions, complaints, resistances, excitements, anything you want to share before you leave? If not, we close.
I don't know if you can hear me. I'm not sure that my mic is working actually.
We can't see you, Ying, but we can hear you.
Okay, so all right. So I would just like to thank you so much for explaining, for the session and explaining in detail, the triangle power dynamic. And as you said, if we kind of come to understand, accept, or forgive, those habitual behaviors, and deliberately staying away from it, and then kind of reground ourselves, in power, authority, sovereignty, or whatever. But then it's a way of being, but that needs eventually to be learned, right? It's well, what people say is once you clean out the inner resistance or whatever, then you would just go, kind of once the happiness noise is out, then you get to reconnect, with your innate being, nature, without all those layers, So it sounds like, it would be a default way of being. But then I think, because we are all in this, human experience, and we've learned actually to behave, in those overpowering ways. And now, if we want to go back, kind of, be more connected with ourselves, then you would have to learn how to do it. And I guess that's what you teach.
Yeah. So let me say one more thing in response to that. She brings up a good point. When you find yourself playing the roles, thank the role. Take a moment, turn towards that part of you, the scared part of you that's put on this armor, and thank it for showing up. Oh my God, thank you so much, my inner persecutor, for showing up to take care of me. I appreciate you for doing that. And now you can go back. Like, I don't need you to do this for me, but thank you for trying, because all of these roles are trying to get us something. They don't have a better way of getting us. This is their best shot.
Yeah.
So you're not bad when you play victim, persecutor, savior. No. Very, very intelligent function. Thank you so much. I can turn to my savior and say, oh, thank you. Thank you so much for showing up today. But I can't lie. Okay, so if you don't feel it, you don't say it. You have to be true. And that's very important. Okay. Thank you, everybody.
We don't know any better ways of fulfilling those actually.
Exactly. No one showed us. So when we know better, we'll do better.
Yeah.
And until we don't know better, we accept who's here as a trusted friend, as a goodwill friend, maybe not trusted.
So my last point before you end the session is just you know, for the part you're teaching, is that there a way just to describe kind of the steps of the process, right? To reground yourself, to reconnect with you know, the certain way of functioning, you know.
Yeah. So I think the question you asked, and I missed some of the words, is how do I escape those roles? How do I come back? And that is through your practice of coming back to center. It's recognizing. First, it's recognition. Oh, I slipped into a role. Oh, my body is really charged right now. Am I in equilibrium? No. Okay, my only job is to get myself back to center. It's like a full-time job, you guys. You are not, whatever you think you do for a living, this is more important. This is what you do for a living. This is what you do all the time. Your job is to keep coming back to center. That's it. Right? That's your one thing. It's like, oh, I'm charged right now. Oh, my thoughts are spinning this way. Okay, I recognize. I might say, oh, I'm playing this role. Oh, then I thank my role. I acknowledge. And then I can say, okay, what do I need to come back to myself? Did I leave my ground? Did I leave my edge? Did I leave, what is missing? Where is my attention? So it's actually taking, it sounds like a lot of work, but it's not. It's retraining your attention. It's retraining the body's habits of attention. That is what we do in murmurations. It's about teaching your body a different way to be before you strip away your defenses, so that you have something solid and good to hold on to fall back on. So as you discard the role, it's very important that you honor it and then release it.
Yeah,
okay?
yeah.
All
And
right.
anchoring that part, as you said, is also similarly important, right? Then you have a place where to go, actually.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, everybody. I am so excited that you came. I love how you showed up. Those of you I couldn't see, I want to see your faces. I can't deny it's something important to me. Those who cannot is okay, but those who can, at least just take a check, just take a visual check of everybody. Just feel the field of the faces who are here, the voices that showed up. You're not doing this alone. You're not on this like lonely planet. You're in a very rich community. There is a resource. Feel the resource in the room. Okay. Thank you. And I'll talk to you on email.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ishita.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, and see you soon. Bye-bye.
See you soon.
Bye-bye.
Bye.